Welcome, everyone, to the Monterey podcast. The conversation that we're about to have today with Joel Ward is going to be very insightful into a lot of the technology that is being used on the construction side of things today. Not just talking about home renovations, although we will speak to that as well. He is the owner of Titan Legacy Builders, and I'll let him kind of introduce himself and give a brief background as to how he became owner of Titan Legacy Builders. So welcome, Joel.
Hi, it's nice to be on the podcast. A little history. I started a construction company after 17 years in corporate, and it was great. Corporate was great. It was a regular, comfortable check. After 17 years, I told my wife I just got remarried, and I told her I was like, "Look, I'm tired of
Congratulations.
living." Thanks. We've been married 3 years this year, 5 years together, and I said I can't do this anymore. I'm sitting in an office where I'm unappreciated. Everybody's stealing my ideas. I built the software for them to utilize an inventory. I was managing all that, and no one was ever giving me the credit for it. And sorry, I have a little bit of a cough. I was working last couple days, but jump ahead 17 years. I look at it, I'm like, I was looking out the window of my office in this corporate building, and I'm like, can't do this anymore. So I looked at my hands. I was like, I used to use these hands back in high school to build cabinets, work with other people's parents on churches. We built 3 churches. I helped renovate multiple projects. I was on mission trips. And I was like, I want to do that again. So I told her, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And got home that day, and we're very faith-based. And I said, I'm going to look towards what God wants me to do. So the direction was leading me towards construction. So I started a company. I'm not going to name the name of that company because that company has since then been gotten rid of. We ran into some problems. I did everything the wrong way. I started really fast, really quickly. Did not work out well. We didn't fail. We didn't go bankrupt. We paid everything out of pocket. Like, we took money and the truck, everything was out of pocket. The problem was we did it the wrong way. So one day after we were cleaning up the shop, closing out our office space, my entire team that was in the conference room was like, we were just tearing everything down. They're like, don't you want to do this? So I was like, I feel very defeated. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this. And the money we spent, the time, my wife and me are frustrated. We're having marital problems now because of this. And I think was all because of the wrong thing. So my staff was like, you need to think about it because this is, you love doing this. You're very good at it. So I was in the shower that night, and I'm just beating myself up, just like we just emptied the entire shop. We just cleaned everything out. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, what's the next step? And this is how it all started. There's a bottle of shampoo that says Titan. It's like my wife's like fancy shampoo on it. Really, this is no joke. No joke. She'll tell you this. It says Titan on it. And something was just saying Titan, Titan. So I got a shower, and I'm like on my computer, like working on some like closeout paperwork. And I was thinking, legacy hit me. There was another word on my computer that said legacy. And I said Titan Legacy. I was like, something's Titan Legacy, and then builders. And then after that, we came up with a motto, mission statement, everything. And I built the company. I went and took my retirement, took $16,000, bought a new truck. It's new to me. It's 2014. We bought a dump trailer for $12,000. We went out and got all the stuff that we needed to start a mobile business. We since then have now a 7x16 enclosed trailer that we use as a job site trailer. We went to Tennessee to pick that up. We are 2 to 3 years into this. Technically, I consider 3 years because J. Ward moved over, which is the other company. I said the name anyway. Moved over into this company. All the clients we had previously moved with us. We now have a website that I'm building. We have implemented a lot of new features. We were losing money because of software, and you wanted me to talk about this. We were losing money because of software. We were using 8 pieces of software for one thing because we were using the free tiers. And as a developer from back in the day, way OG back in the day, coding everything by hand, it got to the point where I was like, okay, we're building this business. We're growing fast. Even my friend told me, he's like, dude, you're growing fast. I've been in this business for 6 years. You're doing things that I couldn't do in 6 years. This is growing faster than I've done. And we're looking at our growth and expansion. We're not going to a building. We're using the trailer. And what can we do to keep that going? So as an IT tech, enthusiast, I'm like, what can we do to build our company in the tech realm and construction realm? So I built RapidServe. And then I built a company called Catalyst Core Software to build RapidServe. So RapidServe is our CRM. It's our invoicing software. It's our material management. It's everything that we need between agreements, service agreements, maintenance agreements, everything, permitting, everything you need is in a drop-down menu on our software. It is not available to the public. We have been working very hard. I have a couple people that work in the back end to help me get it so we can push it towards a more broader audience. But right now, Catalyst Core has just built it for our company. So I built it specifically for Titan. Titan Legacy has its own software and it's proprietary to its company. So if we need something, we just add it to the software. I just added in. So if there's something I see that another software has, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to code that into our software. We don't have to pay for that. So going back to history, I grew up in a generation of no paywalls, whether that was gaming or something. There was small paywalls. Now everything is a paywall to a corporation. I worked in corporate. Everything's a paywall. Everything's a money grab. Our mission statement is Catalyst Core and at Titan is to cut those paywalls down, is to cut the pricing down, is to cut everything that everybody is so stigmatized to and look at it like we're going to change. We're going to be a catalyst to the industry. A catalyst means change. That's why I did Catalyst Core software, because Catalyst Core software is the belief of changing the paywalls to opening up so many avenues to build apps, websites, development for people who are starting out. When I was a business owner starting out, none of this was accessible. When I was years ago, before I even hit corporate, I wanted to start business. Things are so much harder to do back then. And you were talking about AI in the beginning of the conversation. Sorry, I have like a hard time catching my breath today because of all the
That's
dust.
all right. Hey, take a break, because I do want to touch on one thing that I
Yeah.
think is key for our audience is, as an entrepreneur, it is okay to fail, and you're going to make mistakes and you're going to learn. So I want to first and foremost thank you for sharing that part of the story where, it just wasn't all 110% to success.
Nope,
You know,
it was
there
not.
there were growing pains along the way. There were things that you had to work through, and which led you to where you are today. So, I mean, congratulations on not giving up, which I think 80 to 90% of people, when they get to that point, probably give up.
So
And
I
there's
can
that.
give you a statistic. My buddy
Sure.
told me this. He's been doing this for 6 years. He said, if you're not willing to put 100 hours a week in and do it for the next 5 years, you're going to fail. And he's
Yeah.
told me that. He said, day in, day out, if you're not willing to put in the hours, you're not. See, I wasn't committed enough. And we failed because I did everything wrong, but I wasn't committed. I was just going home early. I was clocking out. This has allowed me to spend more time with my kids. But if you're willing to put in the hours, if you want to start a business, whether that's in construction or graphic design or whatever, great. But if you're going to fail, if you slow down, the momentum cannot stop. And I think you're right. If you can't talk about your failures online or on a podcast or with other people, and they're failing and you're not helping them, that you should not be in business. I look at it like this. I did fail. I fell really hard, and I should not have continued at that point because, that failure was enough to shake anybody to stop doing it. They're like, we're losing money. But my wife was very supportive, and that's the other thing, having a supportive partner or wife or spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, who's going to stand by you and also help fund your dreams if the things get rough, because it did get rough. And I put us not in the red, but I put us in a spot where we were struggling, and it was my fault. It was my stupidity. She'll tell you, you were being stupid. You weren't listening. And she said there was a lot of advice people were giving you and you turned away from it. If you have people, that's the other thing. People give you advice, take it. If it's good,
Yeah.
sound business advice from someone who's been doing it a long time or a mentor, listen to it. I didn't, and I failed. And I think that's where I have a lot of people I mentor with who mentor me and who ask my advice and then give me advice. If you can surround yourself with solid people, you're going to succeed.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's one of the purposes of what I'm trying to do here as well, is to not only put a platform out for, aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners to go and relate to other people in their industry, but also for an opportunity to connect with them to hopefully have those conversations. Because like you said, if someone's made that mistake already and is willing to share with you how they were able to get through it, I think it's a no-brainer. Of course you want to have that conversation and hear them out. So thank you for that. Let's talk about your Catalyst software. So what all does it do? What all did you create it to do for your home renovations is what you focus on, correct?
We do more than home renovations. We are licensed to do HVAC, plumbing, electrical, basically anything you can think of except for roofing and foundation work.
Okay.
It is built, but the software itself, I didn't just build it for us. I built it to expand. If someone is in any industry in the construction realm, they can use it. And that's where it was built. Now, it was built on the premise that was for our company. And I started building it more every day for other people. If this ever gets published for other people to give us a monthly fee, a small monthly fee for everything up front. So let's go back. I looked at several key softwares in the industry right now. The problem with those is they'll have hidden paywalls, 500 here to start out with, and then another $100 per add-on. That was
Sure.
the problem. So where that was where RapidServe was born out of. And what was funny is it wasn't even called RapidServe at the time. It was called something else, and I can't remember. But it started the premise of we needed everything up front. We needed to go from 8 pieces of software down to 1. Like we cannot keep using 8 pieces of software to do project management, 8 pieces of software do like all these other things like material handling stuff, and then try and have multiple logins. One login, multiple things. Everything from materials to CRM work to callbacks to quotes to invoicing to payments, everything is in our software. And we are
Nice.
utilizing and integrating more stuff as the days go on. Like I have been getting more API keys to integrate things. I have been opening our API for people to look into it, people who I trust and people who are in different industries like Builder Comms, which is Ron's company. I was interviewed on his podcast. He's another construction worker out in the Carolinas. Him and me have connected on multiple calls on Builder Comms and RapidServe to connect and maybe become, you can use his project management software in our software, or he can use our software in his software. It is an open source revolution. I believe in open source. We lock things down like a proprietary stuff, but we believe solely in open source software. So that is building things that people can utilize and see and help grow their companies, because I've seen so many companies get started, and the problem what they have is whether it's invoicing software or it's Intuit QuickBooks. Now we're not doing stuff like Intuit, but the stuff is held behind paywalls. And if you're a struggling company trying to get started and you have a bare minimum budget, that's where we come in. That's where we're like, hey, you want us to build software for you? You got $200 in that budget, we'll build you something for $200. That's where we're getting at. Now, we are not at that point to really build massive amounts of software. We are still getting RapidServe off the ground, and I will put on the LinkedIn page whenever we're ready to start taking more clients, because I have 2 people currently I work for, but I also manage my own software, which is great because as a business owner in IT and cybersecurity and all these other things I've gotten to do over the last few years and working corporate, it has given me the opportunities to build our website, to build our software. And we use AI for some things like posting, marketing. Like we don't hire marketing. My wife does all of
Yeah.
it. She uses AI to make the posts. We use pictures, and there's a couple people that have been caught with their pants around their ankles around here using AI images to show their job sites to make it look fancy. That is crap. If you're using
Yeah.
AI to do that and lying about what you're doing, everything we do is raw to the core. Like you get picture on our website, you get picture on our Google and LinkedIn, Facebook. It's a raw image of the job site. It is not
Yeah.
faked. It is raw and upfront. Now, that being said, we use AI to build the posts, because when you have to, now we put our notes together, compile it in AI, and then we look through it and we add what we want and take away what we don't. It is not all AI done. Now, I know people will be like, well, he's using AI to make it. There's nothing personal about it. There is still. We're using personalities, notes, and everything we can and compiling into one AI note block and having it build a post based off of what we are as a company. I've gotten to the point where Gemini,
Sure.
as soon as I type 2 words, it knows exactly who I am from deep learning and what my company's about, where our faith is, where our commitments are, where our contributions are to society, what we are as a community-based company, and it knows everything and pulls that together and then tells me, hey, does this look good? Yes. Here's what I want extra. That's where we use it. AI is great for using that. We use it in several different avenues of the company when it comes down to scheduling, helping with certain things, like some of the app has been built, or the software has been built, because some of the coding is a little more complex than I went to school for. So I use it to pull different things and build it off of deep learning AI. Take that code, copy and paste it into the code I have, check it, test it. We've already been utilizing the software out in the field. It's been great.
Yeah.
But it is
That's
still
awesome.
one of those things that I love running a business. But what's frustrating is AI has made it so obtainable now to run a business as an IT person in today's world, because you can go from construction to IT back and forth and have it all mixed into one with less stress, less hassle, because you have more tools and stuff available on the web than you did back in 2016. 2016, I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do in life, figuring out how I was going to build a company. But now you can build anything. You can start your own business in a matter of 2 clicks these days. It's
It's true.
frustrating, but it's true. It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're doing really well with all the mixing. So like, call it a mixing because it's like we have our personal side where we handle everything. We do our marketing, we do our web development, we do the software, we do everything. We handle every single call. And I'm boots on the ground. Today I'm here with you, but if it's a job, I'm out. I'm not at the office. I'm not in my truck. I am out there getting dirty. Like I'm covered
Yeah.
in dirt right now. I do not believe that as a manager and a business owner, and I touch bases on LinkedIn, you should be sitting in your office. You should be sitting in the
Sure.
truck. You want to know the firsthand issues that are being faced in the construction industry. You want to know the firsthand things that are being handled on the job site. So when the software was built, everything that we faced out there on the job, the weather, the issues, we rebuilt that into the software. Now, we're another company we're one of those companies that takes old, so we have I have an older Dell here, I'm using an older laptop, and it looks great, by the way. We refurbish a lot of tech. So we have
Nice.
our Tough Books. So we have Tough Books out in the truck. We have Tough laptops, Tough tablets that are utilized, but they're older Dells. They're not brand new spanking $1,000 computers. They're like $20, $200 eBay buys. And we reuse that. We put Linux on everything. Linux is another open source software that's an OS that we use on every system. I'm using it right now on this computer. I'm using it on my desktop. It's in our servers. It's in our tablets. It's in our work computers. It's on every piece of software that we use is based off of Linux. And the reason there's the reason for that is what I'm trying to say is because it's open source. It's free. And it's more manipulated. We can do whatever we want with it. We can
Nice.
change it. We can make it creative. It speaks to us in a way that Windows restricts us. We were talking about paywalls. We hate Windows now. Paywalls in Windows has constricted us from being a business. And same with Apple. You buy $1,000 computer, you upgrade, and you have to keep updating. We don't believe in having to upgrade our software, our equipment, our time, and to train everybody just so we can learn things. We train everybody on Ubuntu. As soon as you update it, boom, you're done. That's it. Everything's still the same. Windows is constantly changing their UI. It's changing its back end. It's changing its front end. It's changing the paywalls. It's changing how much the server system costs. Everything's free. We don't have to pay for it. So then we have our software, which we don't have to pay for because it's built in a notepad and then launched online. And we use an AI system it's called Sonnet. It helps build some of the code. So some of it you'll see in there. You'll be like, oh, like if you get to see the software and testing page, you're like, oh, like, that's cool. But why would you say you built all of it? Now, I didn't build all of it. I built a lot of it. And a lot of it is built with AI too.
Sure.
We like to integrate two things. For example, so I'm not going to mention who it is, but there is a person I know. They are 8 years in development. Actually, no, 9 at this point. $10 million, and their software still hasn't launched, and their investors are getting pissed. Okay, think about that. And I
Yeah.
did 3 months. Software's done. 3 months.
Good for you.
AI and myself. So if you get one person in a development team in a company that's ran solely by that one person at this point, you can really take all those multiple teams, multiple different departments, and shrink them down to one person. And then you have that AI building all these different things for you, and you're working on it. So then the stress is gone. You come home for 5 hours in the evening, work on your computer real quick, publish it to the web, publish it to the software, and then go to sleep at night. It's that easy. And I think
Nice.
that's where AI has really increased the amount of stuff we do as a business. I know I don't particularly like AI some days. I think there's a lot more warehouses in our area than there should be. But the stuff you can do now, mind blowing.
So let's talk a little bit about, you talked about how you utilize your system, integrate AI to, handle your marketing, your posts and all that stuff. So as far as how your business is, like Titan Legacy Builders, how many people are you, employed to right now? How many jobs do you have? What's your revenue? How are we growing now that you have all this in place?
So let's start out with employees. We mainly hire subcontractors, and our baseline is 90% women. It's sad to say, but most of the men we hire are not competent enough, or I've been in this so long, I don't really need to prove myself kind of thing. You can just, pay me what I'm worth. That attitude does not fly here. We hire based off of solely if you're going to show up and do the job right.
Nice.
As far as jobs go, we've got at least 50 plus clients or more, and we're growing daily. That number, I say 50 plus because it's in a almost close to 100 range, but we're keeping the 50 plus level so we can manage things. Jobs wise, we have a huge job in Gettysburg. We're doing a whole renovation. I think you called me actually last time I was out there. We're doing a whole
Yeah.
renovation of the house. We just got signed on to do a huge church. So their parsonage, a couple sheds, the inside the building. That's another big one. We have one commercial client right now that they have a restaurant. Mainly we're just back and forth with different areas in the state, multiple different counties. So where we live in Pennsylvania, there's a bunch of counties. So we're in different counties all the time, whether it's in Franklin County, York County, Cumberland County, Adams County. We're in one of those counties doing stuff. As far as like jobs go, that can change. So the Gettysburg job was supposed to be finished by now. It's on hold again. There's just so many things to run into. So we're moving back and forth. And we only have one truck and multiple people. But the thing is I don't like leaving people at one site. So I have to be on site with them. I'm very hands-on with things. So we push things around constantly to keep me on site. The job site trailer comes with us now, which allows us to utilize every tool we have available, every material we have available, everything now with our software we can track on the truck and trailer, know how many things we have. We're able to spend more wisely. You're talking about financials. We're able to keep track of what we're spending on equipment, materials, and keep track of what we have as far as materials. So that way we're spending accordingly and buying the right amount every single time and not going over budget. Like recently, we just did a job. I priced it out. My buddies in roofing was like, dude, you really quoted that really well. But where we were before was I just spent the money and hoped it came back to me, and it never did. So as far as like fiscal responsibility, we've gotten a lot better with that. I won't say where we are at. Like, I won't give the number because that number has fluctuated. Last year, we just started really getting up to the number we wanted to be. I will say we closed out in double digits at the end of it. So that was good. This year, we are already close to double digits, and we're only in
March.
getting ready to be March.
Or
I love
almost March,
March.
yeah.
We're about to be March. The amount we spent last year, like, so when we first started J. Ward, we spent $14,000 at Lowe's. That's a lot in materials.
Yeah.
Problem is we didn't know where half of that went or we never saw that money. We basically made like $0 that year. Not really, but that's how it felt because we spent more on materials. So now between the materials we're spending and the money we're making, this is materials, this is how much we're making. We're able to know where we need to keep that from materials going over our profit margin because our profit margin was not great. And so we're able to, as far as pay goes, we start at the state minimum for certain people, and then we work our way up to $30 an hour, depending on the job. And so I would say average what we're trying to get out of a job is enough to pay 7 people because we currently have 7 people on staff. I say on staff, they're subbed, and we have, like I said,
So
a mother.
1099.
Yes. So we only
Gotcha.
1099 it. We did the last time around try and do a workman's comp situation, and it ended up being really bad. We ended up in a legal situation because of, and this is where it's talking about my failures. We got with a sales rep who tried to sell us on workman's comp through Berkshire Hathaway, and he lied, and a bunch of other people lied. They ended up using it as a Ponzi scheme to get money. We almost owed $40,000 back to Berkshire Hathaway until they gave us the audit. Realized what happened. We still owed a little bit of money, but they said we finally got it settled because they said that we were trying to lie and made a claim. We never made that claim. They made a false claim with our company because the guy realized he could work it in, and he tried to screw us over. So this rep, I don't know whatever happened to him, but once the audit has finally settled, we realized we're like, oh, okay, so we can no longer do that. We are no longer getting in bed with another payroll company or whatever. So we use Intuit for everything. Everything, our taxes, financials is all handled in-house. No one outside the company touches it because when we did that the year before that, 3 years ago, we ended up in hot water because we allowed someone else to handle payroll. We allowed someone else to handle workman's comp. We allowed people that was outside the structure that we shouldn't have trusted. And so now we're strictly 1099 for right now. In next 3 years, we're going to or maybe sooner, we will look at that, like see, like, hey, can we get to that point? But we do not want to be in that hot water again. And I say that being that nothing we did was illegal. Everything we did was above board. And the audit system that came back, everybody's like, look, we're good. We realized what happened. We realized there was a lot of scammers working at Berkshire Hathaway that were using the rep status as a way to get money worked through. And they were just young kids. And that's where I have a problem with people younger than me at this point when they work in these big companies is they don't like working. So they will find ways to not work, whether that's skimming off the top. So when we bring people out, whether that's a 1099 or it's someone who works outside the company structure, they have to follow the guidelines. Like we just sent out a company memo yesterday discussing where we were at, where the structure's at, who's at the top, who's in the middle, everything, who's the safety officer, who's in charge of OSHA compliance, everything. So everybody knows where they're at. We love camaraderie. We love the laughing, we love joking, but there is a strict policies. And I'm a fun boss, but I'm also someone who, like, if you're going to mess up, because it's my job at the end of the day, not yours, get out. And I think sometimes you hire friends, it's great, that's fine, but they need to know the boundaries. And we've been having to set strict boundaries. That's the failure part. Going back to, I think you said the client base, ours is strictly organic. We have never needed to, like, our website's up. That's great. Our Google page is up. That's great. We don't have our Facebook. That's as much marketing as we get. We don't have ads. We don't have billboards. There's guys in this town, they'll spend $5,000 to stick a giant billboard up with their face on it, their company, their name. We just get called because someone said they felt called to our name, our information. And we just go off that. Someone will see us on Google or they'll read something on Facebook. They'll pop up because someone else shared it. That's it. I call it strictly organic leads because when people reach out to me on LinkedIn and they're like, hey, I can get you leads. Good luck because I'm not hiring you. I've known situations people have paid thousands of dollars and those leads don't pan out. In this area, there is so many people doing what we do. Organic leads pays off better for us. And we're going to stay that way. It's It's organic. It's great. The clients we have are always happy. We pick and choose very strictly on who we work for and who we don't work for. I've been subbed out to people that we won't do ever work for again because of how we were treated, how our employees were treated. So I look at it like you gotta, as a business owner, you gotta be very careful who you work for, who works for you, and what your company is structured as, because that's where you'll set your fail points and that's where you'll set your success points.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, referrals, number one, I feel like is the best way that you
Mhm.
could go on the construction side of things. That means, people are talking highly about you. The word's getting around. And if you don't have to do marketing and ads and you have a great organic structure in place where people just naturally are referring you business, that just
Mhm.
means you're doing a good job. And I did see on your website you have all 5-star Google reviews. I think you have over double digits in there as
Yeah.
well. So congratulations on that. Let's wrap up real quick here with just some goals. Any
Okay.
goals you have for the next 6 to 12 months? Let's talk about those before we close out.
So that's great that you asked me that because I love to talk about this. So we actually have a 5-year plan, but actually it's gone down to 3-year at this point. So our 3-year plan is we're going to be buying another truck in 3 years. We just got a new trailer, so that came quicker than we thought, which was great. It's greatly helped. Our goal right now is to remain at our profitable margin that we're at. So we've already been 2 months in, and our January was so busy for us that we didn't even get a break. February has been, we're on February 27th and it is still busy. We want to keep that momentum all the way into summer because I'm going to take a vacation again this year. And when we take that vacation and I get back, it means that I'm going to be boots on the ground again. So our
Sure.
goal is to keep up the momentum, stay at that place we're at because we're keeping profit here and materials here. And even if materials get to here, we're going to keep the momentum where it is. So that way if we have that, one goal I want to have is to buy a couple more materials extra, keep them on the trailer because one of our main mission points is that there's someone who really doesn't have the money. They're on Social Security, they're a veteran, they're just disabled, something like that. And we pass by their house. We will sometimes turn around if we see them out there struggling or something, we'll make that stop and we will say, hey, what do you need today? What can we meet you as a community, as a business? And we will use those extra materials. So our goal is to get thousands of dollars more in extra materials that if we can keep them on the truck and trailer and then help more people and that sounds kind of silly, but my point, my goal of the year, like it was last year, is to stay people over profit. Profit is great. Profit's always going to be here, but people are always going to be here. We've been treating people over profit for a whole year and a half now, and into this year, it works. Believe me, it
Nice.
works. When you start treating the people in the community like they're people, not profit, the people realize who you are, and they'll say, "Hey, he does this work. He's willing to come out and look at your situation and he's willing to help you where you're at." And people are like, "You're losing money that way." I know. I actually have more respect from a lot more people than I did when I started my first business. It's sad because some people have walked away from me because of it. They're like, "You're stupid. You're gonna fall down." It does become a struggle. Because then you look at it and you're like, this goal I'm having, is this even like money is more important? Money is not important. Money is great to pay your bills, but it does not make you friends. At the end of the day, if you look on our website, our mission statement is clear. We're proudly based in the United States. We're faith and family. Like if you go to our about page, there's a picture of our family now. It shows what we are, who we are, where we are licensed, or we follow strict guidelines and permit. And we want to keep that goal into 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. The same things. And I tell my wife every day, the same mission statement. When I wake up, get in that truck, I look at it, all right, same thing today, tomorrow. And that's where I want to be every day because that's our mission statement. And every goal I have now is to keep that company running so that way we may never need a building, maybe a good place to land park trailers, but we don't
Yeah.
ever want to put ourselves where we can't help the community. And our goal is to always make sure we're making enough to help the community and pay our bills. That is the goal at this point.
I think that's great. I mean, it's pretty evident that faith is at the, middle of everything that you're doing.
Mhm.
And I think that's the way that everyone should kind of look at business, to be honest with you, is that as long as you're taking care of the community and the people around you, good things will happen to you. And I think that's a proven fact for you, especially that, you had some struggles, you worked through it. Now everything's going great. And I just really wish you the best here in the next year, and hopefully everything continues on that path and you just continue to kill it. And I'll be looking forward to seeing how the software develops and hopefully see that out in the public's hands as well here coming up here soon. So thank you so
If I
much,
can
Joel.
I can add one last thing to give some people some insight, which I wish I would have known and someone would have told me. When you have a dream, because I got told I was too stupid to do this, too stupid. If you have a dream and it's a business idea or you want to write a book or something, don't let that person tell you you're too stupid to do something. I was told I was stupid to do this. years ago, and I'm thriving. Now, I failed once, but don't let anybody tell you your dreams are too stupid, because if you really want to do something, you will find a way. You will work extra hours. You will find an extra job to make it happen, and you do it. Just do it. That's all I'll say. Like Nike says, just do it. You will find a way to
I
make
love
your
it.
dreams happen.
I think that's a great way to end it. Thank you so much, Joel.
You're welcome, Dominic.